Hello and welcome to Sport Tonight. I'm Cecilia Mogbe, right here in Lagos. Of course, Austin will join me any moment from now. But this is, okay, Austin, how you doing?
Good to see you, Cecilia, and of course our viewers joining us from different parts of the world. Always an action-packed world of sports. The Premier League has kicked off right here in England, Cecilia, and has gotten us talking already.
Yeah.
Can't wait for the MPFL to join, but the crisis in the Nigeria Football Federation deepens. Is there any way out for Ibrahim Gusso and this current executive board of the Nigeria Football Federation? We'll see.
We will see. I just want to breathe, really. Sometimes you just want to take a breather from talking about Nigerian football. It's like we're going to be entering another drama series. Also, you remember what you did the last time, the series, the court cases, everything. Now it has to do with DSS, there's EFCC, there's the National Sports Commission somewhere, an election, it's coming, to be or not to be, and stories everywhere that some of the members of the Nigerian Football Federation, executive members, they are, well, stepping down. So much on that angle when it comes to politics in Nigerian football. So politics and football mixing together. I believe Austin will dwell more on that, especially with the DSS and the NIA, all of them after the Nigerian Football Federation. Okay, that will be one of our talking points on the show tonight. But obviously, we will be talking about the Intermediate Games ECO 2026 that will be taking place, obviously, in Lagos State in October. Yes, the organizing committee, they are ready, rolling out plans and the things they intend to do, the build-up. And of course, having over 13 to 15,000 athletes that will be in Lagos for that game. That will also get our attention on the show tonight. Not forgetting the Falconets. They were able to travel last night, 9 p.m. Nigerian time, to Poland, where they will be taking part in the 2026 FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup. So you have 21 players. So 20 players traveled to Poland last night. One, Janet, already in Poland. Of course, 3 didn't get the visa. So they've got 20 players that will be prosecuting that, 21 in all. We'll talk more about that. And Edo Queens, the champions of NWFL, they had a very, very high-flying start. High-flying start, yes. Right. 7-0 victory over AS Guard National of Niger Republic. It was a resounding victory for them. We'll also be talking about Edo Queens on the show tonight, talking about the qualifiers for the CAF Women's Champions League taking place later this year. Qualifiers currently going in Ouagadougou in Burkina Faso. It's a loaded package. Football, and more football. Yes, there is a guest in the studio right here. I'm going to introduce. It's been a while that we actually sat down together on this show. How are you doing?
I'm doing very good. It's good to be back on sports tonight. There's so much to talk about when you look at Nigerian sports, and some not as exciting as a lot of people would think, but we still have to talk about the things that concern our sporting world, especially right here in Nigeria.
Yes, Luwadamiloju, thank you for joining us. All right. So let's start up with the LOC, talking about the local organizing committee, giving the update in the forthcoming intermediate games. Now, intermediate games is meant for athletes from the age of 13 to 18. That's trying to bridge the gap between the elite and, of course, the youth games. So this is a different one for these athletes. Let's take a listen to the LOC, the DG of the Lagos State Sports Commission, and also the commissioners in Lagos State talking ahead of this. When we come, of course, we'll dwell more on this intermediate games, what it means for Nigerian athletes between the age bracket that is being organized for.
In 37 days from now, Lagos will be welcoming over 13,000 or between 13,000 and 15,000 young athletes between the ages of 15 to 18 to come into Lagos, the place of dreams, to compete for glory, to compete for honors. But we say the competition is not just about glory and honor, it's about national unity, it's about togetherness. We together must acknowledge that we are holding in this time period, beginning 1st of October to 15th of October, a series of activities that promote national unity, that promotes glory of the Nigerian nation that promotes youth, which is at the core of the center of gravity of our country and of the continent.
We are not just going to be welcoming athletes, we're going to be welcoming the future champions that will be representing Nigeria at the national level, continental level, and international level. From these events, some new names will emerge in our sporting history and sporting ecosystem, which later on reference will be made that Mr. Igube was discovered by the first intermediate games. We have 10 facilities for context that we are using, but within that 10 facilities, we're going to be having 31 different sporting events across 28 sporting disciplines. So we have partners who will be engaging us in all of this.
For me, what is particularly important is the amount of young people that will be coming into Lagos. We say the youths are the leaders of tomorrow starting today. And what Lagos is simply trying to do is to give all of our young ones that platform to be able to operate on a global scale. And it's through partners like you that we can amplify what our youths coming up from various nooks and crannies of Lagos can do as we amplify them on that global stage. We are ready. We cannot do everything in one day, but we will continue to work around the clock to achieve the mandate of our Governor, Dr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu. We are capable, we are able, we have done it before, we have been tested, we are trusted, and now we are going to go full on charge to ensure that we deliver the world-class preliminary national youth games for our Lagos, because this is Lagos.
Why is Lagos hosting? Because we believe that should there be a connection between our sporting talents that are very young and the ones that have grown professional, there must be something to keep them busy, to identify them, to make people see them, that these are sporting talents that will fly the flag of our nation tomorrow. That's why we are doing this. And Lagos State government is doing it because we have a governor, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, who loves sports. And he has promised that we are not just going to host the first ever intermediate games, but we will host excellently.
Yes, it's all about excellence when it comes to Lagos State, and that is why the state is hosting the very first edition of the intermediate games. Let me start from you. It's like, you know, when they announced that Lagos will be hosting this, and the first question I asked was, where are the facilities? And then when inspection was done by the Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, over the weekend, you know, testing Balogun stadiums and some other facilities that they're using, Unilag and others, that, okay, yes, the turns and tracks may not be ready. The pitch is already ready. I'm talking about the testing Balogun stadium that in 3 to 4 weeks, everything will be completed. I'm like, okay, maybe there is hope. And I'm happy that Lagos is hosting, because we'll be complaining about Lagos and its facilities for the past, well, 4 years, or rather since the beginning of this administration. Yes, it's a slap on it, but that's what is currently going on. But the fact that an event like this is coming to Lagos, 15,000 athletes, and then they are ready quickly, let's upgrade these facilities and let it start working. So I'm actually happy that Lagos is hosting something.
I can understand why you're super excited, especially for us who we have a very, very soft spot for anything sporting related, especially when we're now talking about a tournament that is not just talking about the sporting merit, but also bridging the gap. And is a form of grassroots initiative here. 13 to 18 is an age gap where you want to get as many talents as you can flow into it being professional. We had that particular one. There's also been a lot of talk about Lagos for this season, especially with football, with the number of teams that you have in the NPFL in Lagos. So the kind of infrastructural what's the word I'm looking for? Upgrade, exactly. That's what I'm looking for. That you get ahead of these games. That is also going to trickle down to other parts of Lagos sports. And I think it's really exciting. There are 1 or 2 sports in particular that I'm looking forward to. About 28 sports in track and field, of course, football. chess is a major sport.
Yeah.
I wish I had an opportunity like this when I was really starting to play chess at the semi-high level. But it's interesting. Some of the opportunities we didn't have. It's good to see that some of the youngsters will get to actually have these opportunities.
Austin, you see, Oluwadamiloro is actually missing some parts now. I mean, he wish he actually grew up in there. I know that's what you'll be thinking, because I know in first you used to play football, street football. You didn't have the opportunity of having this, the bridge between the elites and the young one. You missed it. But these young athletes, I mean, just imagine you having the opportunity where talents can be nurtured and retained before, they move to elite level. This is great for Lagos State and, of course, for Nigeria.
Well, we've always had it in Lagos State, and in Amuodo thing, we're big with the grassroots, and people could dream, go to the FHA, field and play football. You remember we had Victor Agali, we had the legendary late Henry Wosu. See, I don't let me take you back on the day. But I love what's going on with the intermediate games, and I just really hope that it will not just be with just be talks, and then when Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu leaves office, we start looking for it again. Remember, we used to have the Dawn games, the Southwest games, and then those things just die. And I was on the show last week, and I was charging the governor that we have these small intermediate games that we are rushing to renovate stadium. It should be functional,
Yeah.
So, it just makes me that it's same old same, but with this young talent, whatever they want to do to ensure that, they have an opportunity to, display their talent, and as you say, it's not far from the elite level, so that they can dream someday of representing the country. I really do hope that there's a proper monitoring system in place. I really do hope that we'll respect standards. And most importantly, as I always preach, I'm a grassroots ambassador. At that level, you must have conscience for development. That what you're doing is not short term, it's long term. So when you have lessons at that intermediate games, you document them so that you find ways that it can be better, because it's all for the good of sports development in Nigeria. So I cannot wait, particularly when all of those young athletes converge in Lagos. They've said that it's the official something theater or the state of dreams. But see that I'm just happy that maybe this time they will renovate the Balogun Stadium and the Onikon Stadium will breathe, will rest small, so that we can move some activities to that facility.
When I was reading the press release from the State House, I was talking about Lagos State, after the inspection by the State Governor, when he talked about that in 4 to 3 weeks, the Teslim Balogun Stadium already upgraded to FIFA standard. So now you now have a grass, on the field, and not just that, the Tartan tracks around will be ready, and not just that, every other thing around it will be ready. So is that upgrade? That's what I'm happy about. So in 3 to 4 weeks, what's going to happen? And at the press conference, if you can see the pictures, there's so many, all the editors in Nigeria and Lagos, I mean, you can see them. They were there to witness it, and they talked about the facilities being ready before that time. So I know that they will be watching, and Lagos will have to sit on their tools and see how they will ensure that this will be ready. If not, questions will be asked, because you're looking at, it's going to start, we're looking at 1st to 15th in October. So they don't have time. Darius, so you can see a lot of the editors, they were there, sitting and listening to them, talking to Imbitoye and the likes. They were right there when the press was being held today, when they were unveiling their plans and the programs and all the things they need to do. So Lagos will sit up, ensure the facilities are ready. So when the athletes are around, they don't have to wait. They'll have a lot, to actually share about. And they're also using Unilag will also be part of the facilities. Unilag facilities will also, be used. So I'm happy because of this. Lagos has decided to actually fast track the upgrade and, of course, maintaining the facilities they already have that was there when Governor Fashola, Batunde Fashola was around, right? Yes. Yeah, I mean, I actually enjoyed Lagos better that time. I'm not afraid to say this, because I know I go to Agege Stadium to get to watch football games, MFM then, Canopilas, there were night football in Lagos, but we haven't seen that, the light, you haven't seen that in a long while. So maybe with this, this intermediate games and with this upgrade, we get to see more. and he talked about no more teams coming to Lagos. So I can't wait to see over 15,000 athletes, 15,000 athletes coming to Lagos. It's the maiden edition. Lagos is hosting. But maybe the next one, the other state that is picking up, will also have facilities. So with this intermediate games, it's going to be a regular thing from the National Sports Commission. More states want to have facilities ready. So when they want to host, they don't have to waste time.
Yes, so when we have teams for CAF competitions, if the stadium is in good condition, we don't have multiple teams trying to use the same stadium for CAF competition.
At least they can play at their own league. Yeah, that's the only stadium we have in Nigeria. Come on now, I'm not afraid to say. Yeah.
No wahala.
I think if there's anything Senate President Amin, what he did while he was governor of that state, I mean, that's one of the biggest things. Thank you, because I know by now we should be playing games in Morocco or somewhere, because we won't have any stadium in Nigeria. Let's leave it. Now, Austin, this is over to you. Now, let's talk about what is happening in the Nigerian Football Federation sector, DSS, NIA, to probe NFF over alleged sabotage of national interest. I mean, this is actually big. When we saw the release today coming from DSS, I was wondering what's going on. So fill us in.
You know, we've seen this. I think we're seeing the same playbook that was used for Galadima, Aminu Meigari, Sani Lulu, Abdullahi. So I think Ibrahim Gusso and his board, you cannot have this sort of allegation because it is deep. I'd rather have EFCC, ICPC come after me and then say I misappropriated funds, and I come and say this is how I spent this, and then I do some balancing and then they let go of me. But when it is the State Department Security and then the Nigerian Intelligence Agency, it's deep. We're talking security, we're talking national security. And the source from the DSS, of course, people are like, oh, well, who said it? This is security matter, so they're not going to reveal no sources. But now it is out there, so it's left for the NFF to now jump on this and say, oh, there's nothing like this. But the source has said that there was disturbing communication between NFF officials and foreign partners or business persons that could undermine Nigeria's security. We understand that the NFF, they are under immense pressure to resign. People have said, leave office. Look, you have failed, just go away, you know. So somebody can come and say, oh, this is just another way. It's the same cane that they used to beat Aminu Meigari, used to beat the former NFF officials that didn't work. But I will not hear this sort of things, Damilola, and I am Ibrahim Gusso and I keep quiet because we're talking national security. You need to come out, say your side of the story so that we can understand what's really going on.
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people are expecting at this point in time. There's been so much talk concerning the NFF board, Ibrahim Gusso, with all the things that have been happening. We've not been able to get any clear information from those in authority. With this news on ground, like Austin already mentioned, when you're talking about matters of national security, it has completely left the shores of, oh, the Falcons did not qualify for this, or our age grade teams are not doing things like this. So I think sooner rather than later, we're going to be having statements have to come out, because if those statements do not come out willingly, there's a high chance that they will have to be taken out of the respective members who are the ones under scrutiny at this point.
Okay, I mean, this is big and this is deep. I know it's a conversation that will definitely continue. I know the Nigerian Football Federation will try as much as possible to maybe want to talk about this, but when it has to do with the Department of State Service, the Nigerian Intelligence Agency, and the national security, it's a whole lot, really. But we'll talk more about this one and also talk about the CAF Champions League, what Edo Queens did to be able to score 7 goals to nothing and opening their Waffle B game on a very, very flying start. So inside the Niger Delta with Mahmoud Akuga continues on our DSTV platform. All of the platforms, Sports Tonight, it's here. Okay, so let's quickly talk about the CAF Champions League. We're going to leave the DSS, the NIA, and the NFF. We'll put it aside is a conversation we'll obviously know will be ongoing, because more stories will be coming up, because sources have not been mentioned. I believe maybe in 2 or 3 days or 24 hours we'll get something from the Nigerian Football Federation. Now let's talk about the CAF Women's Champions League, the qualifiers, and the Group B results, and what happened on Monday night, where ASEC Mimosa of Cote d'Ivoire and the Dakar Ladies of Ghana, these are champions in their own right in the league of their various countries. The Ghanaian team beating the Ivorian team by lone goal. And Chioma Moses, she was on fire, scoring a hat-trick. Edo Queens beating Garda National of Niger Republic 7-0. So by virtue of this, if you look at the standings the way it is right now, Edo Queens obviously topping the group, virtue of goal difference, while the Ghanaian team follow. But Edo Queens, we have to battle ASEC Mimosa, who were in the final the last time of the Waffle B. And of course, they have to battle them in the next game on Thursday, and then that will decide where we go. Now, this is what the table is looking like after just one game. Edo Queens on 3 points, goal difference of +7, obviously, and +1 for the Dakar Ladies of Ghana, and ASEC Mimosa -1, -7 for the team from Niger Republic. So on Thursday, the games will continue for this one. Let's take a listen to the coach of Edo Queens talking. That's the coach of Benin Insurance, drafted into Edo Queens to help the team, because their own coach, Edo Queens coach, he's actually on national assignment. He's in Poland. They should be in Poland at the moment, preparing for the under-20 left last night. So that's why the Benin Insurance coach was drafted to take charge of the team. Let's listen to Kennedy Boboye talking after that game.
Not up to that number, but we'll be doing goal scoring games at home. Matches we play, we scored 4, we scored 5, so it is not a surprise to me we getting up to 7. We've taken our chances for more than 7. 2 games, this is enough for us. Yeah, this game is going to just the next 2 games that we'll be playing is going to be a tough one for us. Those are the games to win, actually to win and win them convincingly, because those are 2 teams we know will talk to the group as well. Yeah, we'll have to go back. We'll start working from tomorrow, because like the game we're going to play next is not going to be an easy one for us, in the sense that Cote d'Ivoire lost their game today. They're going to come out smoky to make sure they have the trip, and they won't allow that for them. We want to go out and still win the way we closed down today, and taking our chances in sports.
Ball put in the box.
Did you see this coming, really? Edo Queens, I mean, they were on fire from the 5th minute of the game to the 93rd minute of the game. They just kept scoring.
Goals after goals after goals. I knew they were going to win. Honestly, I did not think they were going to score 7. But I think that is the perfect way for you to start this Waffle B campaign. We know it's only one team that is from this zone that is actually going to qualify for the CAF Women's Champions League. And we might say on paper, they've probably played the easiest team in the group, but it is good to lay down a marker. If at the end of the day we have teams tied on the same points and head-to-head goes into it, and head-to-head is equal, you might end up having goal difference after head-to-head has been used. So it's good to start 7 unreplied goals. That gives them a lot of confidence going into their next game against ASEC. And ASEC are a team who are looking a little bit jittery after that loss to Dakar Ladies.
All right, Austin, I mean, this game, from the whistle, right? Immediately the game started to the last whistle. Edo Queens were just, they mean business when they came here. It was as if Coach Moses Aduku was not even missed at all. When you have the coach of the men's team drafted to provide that technical guidance to the assistant coach, this actually paid off so well.
That's champions mentality, on display right there. And that's why I keep saying we must have systems in place, we must have structures. And then you just plug and play. Shout out to Edo Queens, for going out there and showing that, look, we're not just champions of the NWFL from out. And with Coach Kennedy Boboye, coming in, it was just easy for him. He knows the dynamics of coaching. He understands what it means to put a team together, and then interpret tactics, strategies to them, and then they go out to execute. And that's what we saw. And this is a perfect way to start. Remember when they did this draw, I said, no disrespect to the Niger team, but I'm not looking at them. I'm looking at ASEC and the other team from Cote d'Ivoire. So ASEC did start really good. So that could be, good advantage for Edo Queens. They need to go out there now, complete the mission. But the way they executed this mission was simple. We want to go out there and win big. And this is how to win big. 7 goals, So, I just want to wish them all the best and hope that they will consolidate on this result and go on to pick the ticket. Let's see them play at the CAF Women's Champions League.
Yeah, I think ASEC Mimosa might just be a more difficult one for them because if you check in 2025, they were in the final, of the CAF Champions League. And then from the team from the Ghanaian team actually nicked them go to nil. But one thing is certain, in this CAF Champions League, the winner of this Waffle Bay will be the one to represent the region in the CAF Champions League. The last time Edo Queens were here, they finished 4th in the CAF Champions League. They were able to win the group. They still have ASEC Mimosa, and of course from there, they play the team from Ghana. To wrap it up, the top 2 from the group get into the semi-final, and the winner of that one, get to play the final, and then...
The good thing is we've always done well with the women's team from the Waffle B, I'm confident that they can get it done again this time around.
The last time, or still remember?
I remember, sorry. I remember. But you see, it's changing. And you can tell that what happened at the WAFCON. Everyone now understands that any team can be beaten when women are playing. So you need to come correct. You need to understand your gameplay. You need to know your opponents. And when you have an opportunity to win, you just don't win. You win the way Edo Queens did in their opening game. Just so your next opponent doesn't know how to study you. Because how do you study that sort of team that came out won so big with 7 goals? So I think that's what they need to do and then keep this winning mentality going.
Yeah, but don't be Zambia, because sometimes you win big, and then when it matters most. You understand what I'm talking about, right? No, I'm just saying. The top 2 teams from each group advance semi-final, and then you have the 3rd place for September 5th, of course, the winner. You want to
really have not let go of the things that happened at WAFCON.
At WAFCON, I can't let it go.
It's obvious you've not.
It's obvious that it's still show back, right?
It's obvious that the WAFCON is still deep in your heart.
I'm not going to forget till the next one, so I need something to actually erase it. You have to wait for 2028. Or maybe the ladies in Poland, the Falconets, that's where we are going to next. Maybe they will be able to put a smile on our faces. Yeah, that's what we're expecting. Crossed. Fingers crossed. Now, let's talk about the under-20 team. I mean, they've not had it easy with the visa issues. They supposed to have traveled last week, Thursday, on the 20th of August, but they couldn't, visa delays. And then finally, they left last night. Of course, some friendlies were arranged with the host, and obviously with the team in Poland, so they will be able to acclimatize and get ready for the tournament. But I don't know if that will be possible now because the coach will be thinking of how he can get the team ready. September 5th, that's when it's starting, and today is 25th, and they travel through Turkey, Istanbul. So obviously they will arrive tonight or maybe tomorrow. They haven't landed yet.
Jet
so
lag.
It's going to be jet lag. They're going to arrive, the whole journey and everything. They arrive, let's say 26th, and then they will have to rest for a day, and then they have just few sessions together.
Maybe one of the matches. Maybe one of the matches will be able to be played.
Maybe they can do that, so that confidence.
Yeah.
The coach was also talking before they left yesterday. They should expect something from them. They try as much as possible to do Nigerian part. They just need that support system. Let's just run through the names of the players because the captain of the team, Joy Ibokwe, is one of those that didn't get the visa sorted on time. Yeah, but we have to take a look at this squad list where you have Christina Uzoma, Jane Ijirigo, and Bright 18. These are the goalkeepers. Then go to the defenders, Faridat Abdul Wahab, Hanan Ibrahim. Faridat is also one of those players that didn't get visa sorted. You have Taminimu Adeshino. You also have Rebecca Adegbile, Oyendike Chi Ekezie, and Jumai Adebayo. And the midfielders, that's where you have Joy Ibokwe, Favor Okocha, and Tosin Rafiu. Let's move up to the forward, so you have more of it. I mean, we know Coach Moses Aduku, he's actually big on strikers. You have Ramo Talahi, Kareem, Queen Joseph, Janet Akekoremewe, You also have Precious, Oscar, Mary, Amudu, Victory, Lucky, Amber, Gulu, and winner David and Chisom Uwanchuku. So these are the players for the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup in Poland. So these players will be the one Coach Moses will be relying on to fly the flag high for the Falconets. Us in the Falconets finally were able to travel on Tuesday night, on Monday night, and of course, well, they're expected to arrive later tonight, or maybe until, I think, just see what's going to happen if they can actually, well, get something out of that. Nigeria has been to this final already, been to the semi-final, but they've not been able to win this, but they've appeared in every edition of the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup.
You know, I want to first start by wishing the Falconets all the best. You know, you've been with this team and you understand the quality that we have at that level. And I like the fact that Coach Moses Adikwan and the team, they are staying focused, you know. But let's put a pin on leadership again, you know, because when this story came out about the visa issues, I reached out to my sources at FIFA. I knew, but I wanted to confirm again, you know, because this is my work as a journalist. We always verify. When did they conclude this qualifier, Cecilia, that we are having these visa issues? That's just what I do not get with this Nigeria Football Federation. You have failed so badly, the country is not happy. You have a chance now to take the national under-20 women's team to the World Cup, and we are still having visa issues. $10 million, I really do not understand. We're not talking about the football on the pitch, just to ensure that they see. If that, oh, FIFA did not facilitate properly, or the Polish embassy, were just holding on to. When did you apply for visas, and why are we always having this problem?
The interesting thing is, whenever we talk about Nigerian football, especially when we talk about the women's side of things, something usually occurs. There's usually a sense that there's a fire brigade approach for how the women's team is handled, because you cannot tell me that immediately qualifiers were done, you do not know the processes that you need to take to actually get these visas. Cecilia mentioned something earlier, that we have been at every edition of the Under-20 FIFA Women's World Cup. So this is not our first rodeo. Right. It's not the case of, oh, this is the first time we're qualified for this competition and maybe we don't have the information that we need just yet. We know exactly what needs to be done. For whatever reason, maybe someone from the NFF actually needs to tell us why things are left to the last minute. It just reminds me of students that you have in school when you have 13 weeks in a semester, and it is 3 days before the exam that you realize that every single thing that has happened in the first 10 to 11 weeks, so you want to cram it in.
You know what they call, you blow a woko, and you go to the exam hall and try to get the best results.
But what's that thing that we say of madness is doing the same thing and expecting a different result? We've seen this with the Falcons. We've seen it with the Falconets. We've seen it across not just football, and it keeps rearing its ugly head. Unfortunately,
the flag football event in Germany, for instance, that's
even our athletics. We see the same thing, and you hear things like, "Oh, okay, we could not get documentation in time." We have processes. The most irritating thing for me is there is usually someone, if not some persons, who should be in charge of this. If you keep missing out on your target, if you are not able to deliver what you're paid for, why are you still in the job?
I remember in 2022, Austin, when the Falconets were supposed to go to Germany for, I remember that, go from Germany to Colombia before they go to Costa Rica, and the players were waiting early in the morning thinking, oh, we are going to embassy today, and they came there, you know what, we will not be able to go because you can't meet up with the visa deadline. And so you're looking at a situation whereby you know that this is the program, you know this is the timeline, and you understand that. So you expect to just walk into the embassy 2 weeks to when you're traveling, and that's when you start the processes. I don't know, it happens, it's been happening, and because you always get away with it, you think you keep getting away with it, and then the media will start, being part of the system. I'll remove channels television because we try to do our investigation before we talk about these things. The media starts saying, oh, the embassy denied them visa. The embassy did not deny you visa. You did not start the process on time. Because naturally, when you're going for a FIFA event, under 24 hours, you apply and then you get what you're getting, especially when every documentation, everything is ready. You get your process early. You start early. But if you
And
sometimes
Cecilia,
there's also the padding.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's also the padding. We all know this. Sometimes you have like maybe you're supposed to cater for 21 players. You're submitting like maybe 30 or 40 passports. The embassy is going to look at it and be wondering who are all these people. That could happen too. So I think we need to streamline this. Yeah.
And you talk about you know my only issue I have with this current NFL board is how they just always zip up. They just keep quiet. You have the president, Ibrahim Bousso, who is not talking. They just don't explain anything that is going on. And when you come out as the media to talk about it or ask questions, they say, oh, we're being witch-hunted. Oh, they've told this person to pull us down. This is sad. The qualifiers were concluded officially first week in May. First week in May. You know that you are qualified for the World Cup and you'll be going to the World Cup. And you know that maybe because we are coming to Poland, if they see Nigerian passports, they might want to delay. Is that not why you should rush to go and put in? I'm not talking media, I'm talking players. These are participants. They are going to be at that World Cup, and it is important. It is important for psychological reasons, for mentality, for team spirit, for cohesion, for bonding, for players to have it smooth, get to the country on time, acclimatize, and get into the mood to play football. Now we're talking about visas being delayed, and now we're going to expect that these girls will just go there and create magic. No, Ibrahim Bousso and the NFL, you're a constant failure. And Nigerian football should not be going through this. We're trying to understand why we are not qualifying for major competitions. We have qualified for this one, and NFL is almost stopping us from going. Sad.
All right. The team, they're expected to stay at the Hotel Transbinda in the city of Zebinaka on their arrival on Tuesday, which is tonight, until Thursday, September 3rd, before they will now move into the FIFA hotel. And after that, of course, the Falconets will perfect their tactics. They're in a very, very tough group. You've got Spain. That's where they will start in the game, their Group F game against Spain, which is September 7th. China on the 10th of September, and New Caledonia on the 13th of September. That's what their timetable look like. See how they can. Nigeria's been to the final twice. They've not been able to win it. So let's see if this time around they can go far. But with this travel, glitches and hitches, let's pray for them and see how
the 2010 final,
2014
final, and then 2012. This is a completely different climate. I'm not as hopeful as you that we're getting to the final four.
Let's see. We'll just have to keep hope alive, because that's what we live for, in this part of the world. Faith and hope. Add a little bit of hard work, it comes together. But when we are living out the hard work
and the preparation,
so that's why it's not difficult for us to actually get results at the moment in most of the things we are doing. So wishing the Falconets all the best as they embark on the 2026 FIFA Women's World Cup in Poland. All right, beach soccer. Let's talk about beach soccer. Nigeria, they are back. At the time the team was disbanded, the group was done earlier today. Let's take a look at the group that Nigeria, the Super Sand Eagles, are in. Ghana, obviously, there. We'll take a look at this, and of course, we'll discuss what and how they can navigate this. Now, Nigeria and Ghana, we're talking about the CAF Beach Soccer Africa Cup of Nations. Senegal is hosting. Cote d'Ivoire and Mauritania is another team. You have Tanzania and Mozambique, Seychelles and Malawi, Burundi and Uganda. So the first leg is October 9 to 11th, and the second leg will be October 16 to 18th. So this is what it's like for the Beach Soccer Africa Cup of Nations. Anytime you see Ghana and Nigeria, the rivalry is through the roof.
Jollof Derby, as we like to call it over here. I think it's usually very interesting because I believe that Nigeria and Ghana, we have something of a sibling rivalry. If you grew up with a lot of siblings, or even if it was just one that you grew up with, there is a love-hate is a strong word, but there's a level of competition that you have between your siblings, and I think generally we get to see that between Nigeria and Ghana. I'm excited to see that finally that we're having the Sand Eagles back in action. It was very, very heartbreaking when the team was disbanded, and hopefully we're able to give a good account of ourselves for this particular one. I know there's been a bit of movement even in the hierarchy regarding the Sand Eagles and then the beach soccer in Nigeria. Hopefully that can usher in something new, because we need a bit of freshness over there.
Freshness is needed, right? Austin, something new, because, I mean, the heartbreak has been too much back to back to back to back. I mean, when you're not facing, you know, we thought the Super Eagles was the height of it, and the Falcons happened. Then while we were there, you know, the Flying Eagles happened. While you were there, you move away from the football, you go to the flag football. We're hoping, oh, Nigeria is going to, you know, the very first time, World Championships, champions in Africa, men and women. The IFAB thing happened. And then, well, somehow you just have to keep moving on. But this month, yes, the Commonwealth Games was brilliant. But then, this is beach soccer. So, the Super Sun Eagles against Ghana.
I was done good with beach soccer, you know, and I really do hope that this tournament will rekindle that fire that we used to see, you know, back in the days with the Super Sun Eagles. So, just want to wish them all the best. You're talking about everything that has happened. It's actually been a topsy-turvy ride for sports in Nigeria. But then I'm glad it all happened, because it's just time for us to reflect, you know, have a look and say, we can't keep doing the same things and expect different results, Damilola. So in a way, I like that it has happened. But the big question, do we ever learn?
That's a very, very big question. I know we usually say things like, go back to the drawing board. It's interesting, I was having a conversation earlier today, and maybe we need to construct a new drawing board, because it feels like going back to the drawing board is not working for us. If there was ever a year where we were supposed to have holistic change in the sports administration in Nigeria, it has to be the year that for the first time ever, the Super Falcons were not able to qualify for the Women's World Cup. We can list all the numerous failures that we've had. Hopefully, for your sake and for the rest of football, Austin, and not even just football, other sports, we actually see something very, very concrete that happens, a holistic change, because we might just be here, hopefully not, another 18 months, another 2 years, and we're having these exact complaints about different facets of Nigerian sports. But I hope not.
Hope not. Well, the best to the Super Sun Eagles. Before we wrap up, let's quickly talk about, well, Real Madrid's most expensive signing, a 19-year-old Ivorian, talking about Ian Jemede. He was unveiled earlier today. And of course, he's been talking about Jose Mourinho. Vinicius Jr. is in trouble at the moment. Yeah, that's quickly. But then when you have a player like that, I mean, 19-year-old, an African, I think that's the angle we're taking it from. I mean, Real Madrid had at least signed, you know, they know how to actually spend the money. But usually he's a superstar we all already know. Not so many people know about Ian, you know, about him. Yeah. But we know he's a top talent.
Yeah, a lot of excitement in the Bundesliga last season. When you talk about the goals and assists he was able to contribute, a lot of people are still not exactly settled on whether they think he had a good World Cup or not. The thing is, we know Mourinho values pace and power. Mourinho has always had a very good relationship with African players, and you can understand there was a space on that right wing at Real Madrid because of the injury to Rodrigo. The likes of Brahim Diaz and Gole had a bit of cloud over their future at Real Madrid. I hope for his sake he's a success there, because we've seen players wilt under a huge transfer fee, even though they know there is credible talent in there. Real Madrid is also a very difficult club. If the Real Madrid fans at a point could start booing the great Cristiano Ronaldo, it means that no player is immune from criticism there. He needs to hit the ground running. And if he does, it's a good success story for Africa.
140 million euros, Austin, from Leipzig. That's what Real Madrid spent on him. Has a whole huge tag on him. We saw what happened to Isak. I mean, he still hasn't found his feet at Liverpool. Well, this guy, he's just 19. I mean, that's really why I'm actually afraid for him, and see how he will, what he can do to actually, you know, that tag that is on his shoulders will not be so heavy and pull him down.
No, look, that might just be the push that he needs. He's 19, he's African, that makes it sweeter. You know, and with Jose Mourinho and his love for African players and how they flourish under him, I'm sure he would just be looking at him and say, I want you to be, you know, 10 times better than Didier Drogba. And that might be the push that Jan would need, you know, to go out there. And when you wear the colors of Real Madrid and you play with all of those stars, your star will also come out and shine. So I just want to wish him all the best. And Nigeria, reflect. Look at a young player from Cote d'Ivoire, you know, going to Real Madrid, and for that look, it tells you that It is coming closer home for us to start thinking to ourselves that we are just joking. So yeah, congratulations to Yan Diomande. I'm rooting for him. I want to see what he can do with his football in Real Madrid, and then, you know, put some pride on the motherland called Africa. Thank you so much. That's the show in London. I'm Austin Okonakman. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
Damiloju, Saliu. Yeah, it's been a while. Thank you so much for doing this with us again.
It's a very big pleasure to be back on Sports Tonight. Hopefully it's not as much of a hiatus as the last time.
Precisely. Thank you. I know CTFM is holding on to you closely, guiding you. I hope you'll be able to see us again soon. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Have a good night's rest.